welcome into another episode of the Delco Duo. I'm one half of the Delco Duo, Monica crying.
And I'm Jenna Meisner, other half of the Delco Duo. Hopefully you're having a good weekend, doing something fun. I saw this meme and I really thought that it was so true. It said that May is just December in a tank top. Meaning like the busyness.
The busyness
of the holidays of December. People feel like May is very similar in like sports, graduations, end of school, end of year. And that really resonated with me. So I wanted to share that with you all.
And just like the amount of like family celebrations and like birthdays, I feel.
So many spring birthdays. My family, as you know, we have a ton of spring birthdays. But I think the springtime in general is like a popular birthday time of year.
Yeah.
So, just December in a tank top.
And then for me and you, just like work stuff. I feel like there's so much going on.
So that's what we're going to talk about. Let's get to the debrief.
And we love it. We're not mad about it. We love all of our work stuff. So we were really busy last week. We talked about it already. We did the ribbon cutting.
Right.
And then we also had
Delco Gives.
Delco Gives.
Everybody in and around Delco was talking about Delco Gives. So
exciting.
They kept us very busy.
Yes. So we did the live stream of Delco Gives for 2.5 hours. Mm-hmm. And then they raised a ton of money. So exciting for Delco Gives. They got to their goal. Here's a little bit of our live stream. And welcome back to the live stream of Delco Gives. I'm Monica crying, one half of the Delco Duo. And Jenna, we have some really exciting news because we've gotten to $1.1 million.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody that has donated so far, thank you so much. The goal this year is $2 million. I think we can do it. If you have not given just yet, you can head to delcogives.org. Over 300 nonprofits. Find the cause you love and make a difference.
Yeah.
There we are.
Look at it.
I know. It's like
jump cut.
In our Delco Duo shirts. So that was so fun to do. As you mentioned, we were there for over 2 hours, and it was from Subaru Park right in Chester, and we had the union practicing behind us. We were just turning around, watching them practice.
And then we would just talk to nonprofits, or we would talk to sponsors, and we were fangirling because the sponsors we got to talk to were like our favorites.
Giant,
Pico, Independence Blue Cross. We were like, oh my God, these are huge. These are huge.
There's some money towards the Delco Duo, okay? Yeah. No, just kidding. But yeah, so actually, Delco Gives reached their goal. Yes. As I said in the live stream there, they reached over $2 million. Yes. So I think we have a photo of some of those results too. Look, there it is.
Wow, 2.1. Can you believe it?
No, I mean, I can believe it. People really show up and show out for the community. So they had a goal, they set their mind to it, and there was over 11,000 donors.
Wow.
I mean, Delco's a huge county.
But still, 11,000?
Over 11,000 people donated to the Delco Gives Fund.
Hopefully, I want it to be spaced out, but I hope we helped. I hope we helped bring in a lot of those donors.
I think in that 2.5 hours of our live streaming, they went from 1.1 to 2.1.
Yeah, no. They went from like 1.1 to 1.1.
The crew also, we love them.
Yes,
it was like running the live stream. They might be watching for the first time tonight because, you know, obviously we were telling them all about the Delco Duo.
Yes.
So shout out to them. And yeah, we've been busy with Delco Gives, so that is now over, and we look forward to next May.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it.
All right. What are we here to do tonight, Monica?
Solve issues.
Mm-hmm. Your problems, you submit them to us. We keep you anonymous, and we give you our take on it, our advice on it, take it or not. We don't care. We're just going to tell you anyway.
Yeah, how we feel. Okay, so our first issue tonight is Fred from Folsom. I've continued to stay in a shared custody arrangement of the dog with my ex, even though it's emotionally messing with me and making it harder for me to move on. We text almost every day and see each other every weekend for handoff.
You know, not having a dog, I've never thought about a custody agreement about a dog, but this makes a lot of sense because a lot of couples
get a dog,
not married. You know what I mean? Like, I think, you know, having kids nowadays is so different. A lot of people have kids not married, have kids, you know, all different sorts of ways. But dogs, I think forever have always just been something that's like sort of leading to marriage.
Yes.
Like, let's get a dog.
Let's see how this works.
Yes.
And it obviously didn't. It didn't work out.
I have actually a couple of friends that I know that this has happened to, but I don't think they see the dog anymore. Like,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure like it's just done.
This is terrible, but if you feel like the person that you're in a relationship or not in a relationship with anymore is good with the dog, and it seems like you trust them with this dog because you share custody.
I don't think that's the thing, though. I think Fred just wants to see the dog. I don't think he doesn't trust that the dog's being taken care of.
Right.
I think it's just
But
like
what I'm saying,
the love of a pet.
I'm sure the love of a pet, and maybe we just move on from this pet too.
You
need to move on from this relationship. You need to move on from this pet. You can get another pet. I know this. People are going to kill me.
This does not sound good.
This doesn't sound good. And I know this doesn't.
But this
sound
is coming
good.
from two people that don't have dogs. Like,
You cannot-
take that into account. We don't have dogs.
I know, but you cannot. What happens when you both get in other relationships? Are you still going to share custody of this dog? This is not a long-term solution. You cannot share custody of this dog. At a certain point, one person is going to say, "I will take on this dog," and the other person says, "I will move on from this dog." This is not long-term.
And if you absolutely cannot fathom a life without this dog, then maybe the custody is longer. Like, I'll have the dog for 6 months. You'll have the dog for 6 months. But then at that point, it's not fair to the dog.
That's not
the
fair to the
dog's like,
dog.
where do I live?
Who's the alpha?
Who's in charge of me?
Think about this. Dogs work best with an alpha. The one person who is in charge, who, tells them, sit, stay, eat, bark, whatever. That's the alpha. The dog is so confused right now.
I think, though, it doesn't seem like they are at odds. Like,
Right.
they clearly get along. If they're talking a lot, they're meeting to switch this dog. It's more so, it's not contentious, but it's, as you mentioned, like, you're never going to be able to move on.
Yeah.
But that's really tough. I don't think that you can just say sayonara to the dog.
But I think it needs to happen.
Who bought the dog? Dogs are expensive. Or if you did buy the dog, if you adopted it, that's a different story. But if you purchased a dog, like, that's an expensive.
Yes.
You better pay me.
Well, I do think you could offer maybe.
Pay me out.
If you're saying, hey, I really want this dog, I love this dog, you could say, I will offer you a monetary, amount of money. I want this dog. But at a certain point, it needs to 100% go to one person. It's not fair to the dog. It's not fair to you guys.
I would be curious to know, like, how many custody agreements over dogs, like, actually go to court. I bet you a big number.
I'm sure a big number of wealthy people can afford to go to court
fight
over a dog.
dog.
But people who are not wealthy are not going to court over a dog. You can't afford that. That's
It's
wild.
like Legally Blonde. I can't say the full line, which is, I'm taking the
taking the
dog.
dog.
Blank
ass.
No.
I blanked out the wrong. Okay.
Okay.
So
Beep,
I'm
beep,
going to get
beep,
in trouble.
beep,
Beep, beep, beep, beep.
I don't think the FCC is watching the Delco
Nope,
Duo.
that's fine.
Okay.
I blanked out the wrong word. Like, how dumb.
You are the beep.
Dump.
You are the beep, beep. Beep, beep. Oh my goodness. All right, let's send it to commercial because we need to check now if this is going to be okay. Coming up on the Delco Duo, we are talking about hanging out with your girlfriends and sort of what you talk about, and I'm going to deal with this beep. Okay, so our bosses are saying it should be okay, but who knows? It was kind of like, remember the Eagles victory parade?
Yes.
How
What happened?
every 5 seconds, whenever the
Oh, yes.
celebration, like when they gave the speeches and the news stations that were, airing it live, hello, obviously there was going to be some profanity every 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds.
Sorry for the profanity. We apologize for the profanity.
Yeah. They would go up to people and you would think that the interview would be good. And then, bam, they would just drop a bad word.
Whenever you're involving alcohol, you're involving celebrations. The live TV sort of
To be
mindset.
fair, we have been doing this for 4 years now?
Yeah.
I have not dropped a profanity yet, and I am sorry.
She's so sorry. Now they're mad at you because you said to leave the dog. And they're mad at you because you're cursing at them on Saturday night.
Sorry.
Oh, Lord. All right, let's get to our second issue. We'll keep this one clean. We've got Sammy from Springfield.
Lately, I feel like all my girlfriend hangouts have been the ketchup trap, where we spend the entire time talking about updates and not making any memories.
And before you write in and say, oh my gosh, you guys, you spelled ketchup wrong. Ketchup is not like the condiment. I had never heard of ketchup trap when Monica was telling me what this issue was. So I was like, oh, what even is that? And I like that. I like it spelled that way better.
Yeah.
I like it as the condiment.
The condiment, because ketchup.
Ketchup. But we have it in the lower third as
Ketchup trap.
like ketchup ball. So what is that?
So I looked more into it, and it's a thing. And actually, the more I read about it, the more I'm like, I have certain relationships like that where you hang out and most of it is like, how are things? How are the kids?
How's your work?
How's work?
Yeah.
And the whole time you're like, oh, you have what position now? You're doing what with the kids? That's crazy. Oh, dinner's done? Okay. We should, let's hang out again.
Yeah.
And then in that case, you've never made another memory to kind of keep the relationship exciting, to keep the relationship going, or it's almost like you're not creating any inside jokes anymore. You know what I mean?
That's the thing.
That would make a fun, like, oh, I love hanging out with this person because we have a lot of fun together. Catching up is never...
Well, that's the thing that I was going to say, Sammy, these aren't close friends. If you're stuck in a ketchup track, I don't feel like it's a close friend.
It's hard though. After years and years of, like hanging out every once in a while, it's hard.
Well, that's what I mean. Every once in a while. And even though lives are busy, you have young kids and you're doing different things. Like I'm in a group chat with my two best friends of over 25 years and we're never like catching up. Like we always know what each other's doing in life. Mm-hmm. So it is possible. It's an effort. Right. But if you're stuck in a ketchup trap, I just don't feel like that's a close friend.
Well, I do think if you would like to get out of that trap and create, a closer bond with this person, start the text messaging as like a way to keep up with each other.
If you know you're going to be getting together.
Yeah.
Let's get out. Let's get all that stuff out of the way.
Right.
Like I can't wait for dinner on Friday. Before we get there, how are the kids?
How's your job? And then on top of that, when you create the plans, make sure the plans aren't just dinner.
Yeah, like do an activity.
I think one of the really fun things are like those dinners where you make the food.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Something that
depends on the audience. Like I personally don't want to make my food. I want to just enjoy a nice dinner.
No, you don't know, like those Italian.
No, I know.
You got that for your mom.
I know.
One time.
I gifted it to my mom, but I personally.
But I feel like hilarity can ensue with that kind of.
Right. And there's not much talking. Like you can't like the instructor is leading the class. So you can't just be like, so tell me about work. While they're telling you how to like make a ravioli.
There's no way you can be like, I just got a promotion. I hate that.
Yeah. I've got a lot of group chats
about that.
It depends on Sammy's age. I think boomers, they don't text like millennials.
Right.
Like we're in a lot of group chats. So, I'm not sitting on my phone texting all day, but like before I go to bed at night, like I'll just look through things throughout the day and like see, what my friends were talking about. But boomers don't do that. Yeah. Like they don't really they're not in text groups. Like we're my mom's in my family group chat, but like she's not in a group chat with her friends.
Boomers, I think it would be great for like an email back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, hey, my grandkids such and such and da-da-da-da-da. Email the updates so that when you go out, you guys are just not talking about the updates. You guys are making memories, talking about substantial things.
Not surface level.
Surface level. You're talking about deep, meaningful things, not... Wow. I really do. I feel for you. I
do think this is a boomer
conversations problem. Totally of like, how's this going? How's that? Because after a while, it's just like you've realized that nothing.
It's giving high school reunion. It's giving high school reunion. Yeah. Haven't seen this person. But again, I think this is a boomer problem because millennials, I think, are keeping tabs in group chats. Gen Z, they're still so young that they're seeing each other constantly that, I don't know. I think this might be more of an older generational issue.
But if you feel like it's not an older generational thing and it's happening to you at a younger age, that's tough, and I feel bad, and I would definitely try and get out of
Get
that
out there more.
And I think a good idea is to come up with more than just dinner plans. Go to a baseball game.
Now,
you know what I mean?
Now I've offended all the boomers. And nothing against you, boomers. Love you. All right, coming up next, we are going to bring one of our own issues to the table. Stay with us.
And welcome back to the Delco Duo. We take your issues, and now we have one of our own. And Jenna, you're jet setting.
Yes.
We talked about, I was jet setting earlier. Now you are.
You know how they always say, like, there's signs someone's going on vacation?
You're tan.
First sign for me is my nails are freshly done.
Okay.
Next sign is my skin's looking a bit darker than normal.
Yes.
So yeah, I got a spray tan because I'm going to a tropical island, and obviously can't go there blinding everybody with my winter whiteness. Nice. But this is not my issue. Before we get to it, real quickly, Monica and I were laughing because I got my spray tan during the torrential downpours
that we've been having all
Yes, like there was no good time to go, and I thought that I could just sneak out real quickly because I was checking the radar. I was trying to do it during my son's nap, like just get in there,
proud of you.
Get sprayed.
So proud of you.
Monica, I checked my radar and I'm like, right, it literally, I would have to wait in the salon for 2 hours for it to stop. So I ran to my car really quickly. I thought I did a good job. It's my own fault. I was in shorts and I looked down and my legs just had the dark solution thing from them.
I can't believe that. Like there's no avoiding that.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
So I grabbed one of my son's, I have like a blanket for when it was colder for his car seat. I grabbed that and started blotting. So that blanket is no longer
That's what I would have
usable.
done, just blotted. And
it actually was okay. So
no,
it turned out okay. All right, let's just get to my issue though.
That wasn't your issue. Needs an advisor.
Honestly, that could have been my issue, but there's really no resolve. It's done. It's happened.
Done is done.
I look like I have like a vein disease kind of. But you can't see it because I've got pants on. Anywho, yeah, so my husband and I are going away for a couple of days. It was an incentive trip through his company that he, like a president's club type thing.
I would have no idea. Me and my husband both work in businesses that don't have incentive trips.
I love when we talk about this because Kelsey, our coworker, her husband, she just went on a very similar trip last month for the same reason. It's this time of year. And Monica's always like, I want to know what you guys are talking about. But these trips are wild. Like these trips need to be made a reality television show.
You've said that, and I take this. Someone in Hollywood do an incentive trip reality show.
But it has to be.
They get wild.
It's hard though because no company's gonna sign up for that. But it's just salespeople can party.
Yes,
I think everybody knows that salespeople can party.
A salesperson can party. In the middle of
holiday
the suburbs, the middle of a Tuesday, let alone you put them on an island on the weekend. It's crazy.
But you have I've heard stories. You've got people having affairs. You've got girlfriends on the trip when you bring your wife. Like seriously, this needs to be a reality television show. But anyway,
email us with your craziest incentive trip story.
Yeah, this is like a holiday party on steroids. Yes. Like how people get in trouble at holiday parties. I think a lot of people get in trouble on these trips.
No holds bar, like no holding back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying. Anywho, so when my in-laws are coming into town to stay with our son, I am already feeling like the mom guilt, which is normal. I mean, I think once I get there and I start to relax, maybe it won't be as bad, but just a little bit of mom guilt. We've only left him one other time before, and that was briefly. So this will be the second time. But he'll get to have some good time with his grandparents. And they asked me, my mother-in-law in particular, not my father-in-law, asked me for a detailed schedule of Cruz's schedule. Like just, how his day works. Because when they're here, I'm always here. So where he stay, I'm a very scheduled person. Regimented, I won't go to things because it's his nap time and that's just the type of person I am. Some people don't care. Like my oldest sister, her fourth baby, like this baby naps anywhere, just like always on the go. Right. But for me, I'm like, no, we can't come because, nap time. So I typed out from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to sleep, like a very detailed schedule.
Right.
And my question is how much detail is too much detail? Like for when he wakes up, I wrote like, make sure you put his socks on before he goes downstairs because I don't want his feet to be cold on the hardwood floor. Like, is that too much?
Yes, I think that.
She said, like, I want a very detailed, like, I could have given her like a 50-page packet.
If she asked for a detailed,
but she knows
nothing can offend her then because she asked for it. Now,
my father-in-law is going to think I'm absolutely nuts.
They're going to think you're nuts, but they cannot be offended. Now, if they did not ask for a detailed schedule, if they just said, "Hey,
I would have left something still, just maybe not as
like if they just said, "Hey, can we get like a brief schedule,
like when he needs to eat?"
Yeah,
and when he goes to bed.
Said, "Can you put socks on this time, but remove them before this," I would be like, that's a little much, Jenna. But she asked for a detailed schedule, they know you.
I ended up taking that out because I was reading it back and I was like, okay, that's kind of crazy. So I just kept it to wake up times, nap times. I left them a list of activities they can go and like places they can bring him. Food options like lunch. This is what he's probably going to ask for, but these are other things you can give him, what they can give him for dinner.
That's fine.
But I did leave like if his room is above 73 degrees, put fan on, and like I left like temperature stuff.
If it's not annoying for you to include, all it does is it boosts their confidence of how to handle the situation.
But I also think my mom would see that and be like she'd throw it out. Like she would never. And I think as a mother-in-law, you're more like, okay, I can't mess this up.
Yeah.
My mom, she would use that to put her gum in.
Okay. Well, I wrote a whole big schedule for the first time we went away, and then I left it in the car at the air. I was like, okay, I don't know why I typed all that up. And you know what? My in-laws did a great job. So
and your kids are fine.
And they are thriving.
Details to come on the next episode of the Delco Duo, how it all went. But coming up, we've got Delco Trivia.
What organization, we're still talking Delco Gives, for Delco Gives 2025. All right, what was the top organization for Delco Gives 2025 this year?
Shout out to our hometown media, Upper Providence Free Library. They raised over $57,000.
Wow. That's so exciting for them. And then next up was Tyler Arboretum, which was there when we were there.
Right, well, we interviewed them for the live stream, so their programming, I mean, everybody knows Tyler Arboretum.
Yes.
Knows how cool it is there, so...
And then Community YMCA of Eastern Delaware County. So it's so cool to see some of these, nonprofits, small or large, really receiving the credit and recognition that they deserve.
And they can do so much stuff with all that money.
I know.
And Monica, this is just for next year. I know, 365 days away. Yeah. But if you can't find an organization that you're overly passionate about, or you see a bunch of ones that you want to use. This
was my question, yeah.
There's a general fund on Delco Gives that you can just donate 10, 15, $20, whatever you can, and that will be distributed amongst all the nonprofits. So I think that's a good feature that people need to realize.
Didn't realize you can either give to one until all. Really, really cool. So
congrats. That's a nice big bow on Delco Gives 2025. We'll be back out there for 2026. But in the meantime, if you want to talk to us, you want to submit your problems, any comments on the show, trivia questions. We love to get trivia from our viewers because I feel like you guys know Delco inside and out. Ones. Delco Duo at phl17.com. That's going to be the best place to do all that. And on social media.
Yes, and anytime you guys have any issues with neighbors, spouses, friends, email us.
Matter.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Delco Duo. We'll see you next week.
Bye.